All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is to talk about the Arsenal versus Bournemouth game. It's like we almost forgot about this game, right? 'Cause I already know what our fan base is like. We're looking forward to the weekend where all of us get in that militant mindset. You know what it is when them idiots are in town, Sorry, we're going up to Wembley. But, whenever we play them lot, that's our entire focus. And we get into that militant mindset. All right, cool. All right, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. We got this. We still got a game to play midweek against a decent outfit in Eddie Howe's Bournemouth team. Currently occupying 10th place. They currently have a record of 10 wins, 4 draws, 13 losses. It's weird because whenever I see this team, they're the one team that always surprised me where they are. They're either higher than I thought or they're lower than I thought. Today, I looked at the table, doing the research for this show, and they're actually lower than I thought they were. I expected them to be more like 7th, 8th sort of time, because I'm pretty sure very recently they were. But then I forget that Bournemouth went through a bit of a difficult patch, and they lost a couple of games, and they lost one game which was incredible. They lost to Cardiff City, which is like, what? But that was off the back of beating Chelsea 4-0. So it's like, well, Bournemouth, we literally don't know what Bournemouth we're going to get tomorrow, and I can relate being an Arsenal fan, because Arsenal fan from week to week, you don't know what type of Arsenal you're going to get. You went from a pretty good performance against Southampton, and people will say, yeah, it's only Southampton, but actually I was more encouraged by individual performances in that game. Don't get it twisted. I think we had to weather a 15-minute opening spell from them where they really put some effort in. But then ultimately, I think we controlled the game. I think the second half, some people will say, yeah, the second half was a bit dull. Some people will say, oh, but Leno kept you in it. That's why you're paying £19 million for a keeper, yo. You made some good saves, but saves I would expect someone of Leno's supposed caliber to make. So nothing about that performance surprised me other than the positive stuff, which was that so many people decided to turn up. That was the part that actually surprised me. But going back to Bournemouth, on Saturday themselves, they just about got a 1-1 draw at home to Wolves. And they won. Honestly, these are the kind of teams around this period of the season where they're the best kind of teams to play. Because Bournemouth will be all right. They haven't quite yet got the magic 40 for safety, but Bournemouth will be fine. They ain't going down. But, they ain't threatening for no Europa League either. So, trust me, they've got one eye. They got one eye on that beach, one eye on next season. And it's about winning this type of game and pushing them towards that point. And I know some people might think it's ridiculous that I'm talking about a February game, and I'm talking about the beach, but I just think Bournemouth are in a bit of a secure kind of no man's spot. They're not really going to go down, but they're not going to do anything else either. So I think this is the sort of game we should be winning. This is the type of opponent I don't mind playing too tough. Because the problem is also, and I think this is where people overlook it and say, oh, well, we've only got United and the Spuds to play, and those are our only problem teams. Relegation teams are the hardest teams to play, especially around this type of season where they are fighting for their lives. The only thing I would say about the relegation situation this year is that I would say damn near 2 of the places have been decided anyway, because Fulham are more or less down, and Huddersfield are even worse than that. So it kind of is what it is. with the Bournemouth side, I do like Eddie Howe, man. I do like Eddie Howe. I can't help it. I know that some people think he's overrated. I think, given what he has in that team, it always amazes me the sort of results that he's able to pull off. I think they have a decent squad. I love Ryan Fraser. And I like, I know he's injured at the moment, but Callum Wilson. I think they've got a decent makeup, they're a hard-working outfit, and this won't be easy. This really won't be easy, this game. So with that being said, this would be the team that I would play. I'm looking at this game thinking to myself, we need to win, particularly because the weekend is going to be fuck hard as it is. But we've got to make sure of 3 points going into that game at the weekend. We have to be completely focused on this, but we also need to rotate players where possible. So this is going to be the team that I would pick. I'm going to go with Leno in goal. I like the kid. And you know what? He's starting to convince me. After a shaky start, he's starting to convince me. I'm worried, though, because every time I say some shit like that, he'll do some wild shit. I do think there is a touch of Mignolet in him. I do. But I think he is a goalkeeper. He's a 26-year-old. It's his first season. Let the man develop. Everybody makes mistakes. And as a goalkeeper, unfortunately, when you do make a mistake, it's highlighted even more. And the one thing I will say, if it's any encouragement for anyone who still doubts Leno, Alisson made mistakes this season, and look what the fuck he's doing now. I thought he was fantastic over the weekend, Alisson. So, yeah, I think that should be the encouragement for Leno. I'd still like to see Leno go to the gym a little bit, just hench up a little bit, but that's just my own personal preference. I like a keeper with a bit of size to him. That's a bit of a presence in goal. And he's tall in that, but he's a bit skinny for my liking. But that's just me spitballing. I don't know. Anyway, Leno goes in goal. Right back, I don't know if Lichtsteiner's made it. I must confess I didn't see the news conference or anything, which means I know people in the chat room just going crazy telling me that Lichtsteiner is fit. Realistically, he's probably going to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles because he's our only option. I'm still going to back Carl Jenkinson in this match. For me, he's a right back. And whenever he has played this season, he's not looked too bad. And I think if Lichtsteiner isn't, to be honest, even if Lichtsteiner is fit, he's played twice over the last week, and he's 34. Yeah, eventually we are going to see a dodgy performance again if we don't give the boy enough rest. So in my view, I don't want to see Mustafi there. That's for damn sure. I think if you notice, I never really ever mentioned Mustafi at right back because I know the motherfucker doesn't have it. Well, I always used to see people saying, "Oh, well, Mustafi plays there for Germany." Yeah, have you ever seen Mustafi play good for Germany? Come on, people, come on. Anyway, sorry, rant done. I'm keep promising I won't rant about Mustafi. Jenkinson right back for me. In defence, I don't think we've got too much of a choice here. I'm going to drop Mustafi. Shock horror. And I'm actually going to go with Socrates and Koscielny. Funny enough, spoiler alert, Mustafi is going to start for me against Spurs. Because for some reason, this motherfucker seems to play well against Chelsea and Spurs. So he's going to play in them games. But in this particular game, no, I'm going to go with Koscielny and Socrates. The left-back situation is hard because I thought Monreal played quite well against Barty. I know people shouting it, but I thought he played all right. But then Kolasinac was like, Where did that come from? What you can't play enough for? So this one is hard. I think it's slightly better opposition. I'm going to go with Monreal. I still think he's the better player. Yes, don't get it twisted. I thought Kolasinac was excellent in the last game, but I still think Monreal's the better player. And I think defensively, we're going to need someone on point. So Monreal plays for me, left back. In the middle, okay. So I'm going to start with Matteo Guendouzi. That's going to be the headline of this. I personally wouldn't start him at the weekend, but I'd rotate him and play him in this. For me, I think we could need someone who can just break apart that kind of midfield that Bournemouth have with Gosling and Lemmer, two decent players, particularly Lemmer. And I know Fraser likes to be a little bit nippy in the middle as well. And I think Guendouzi could do it. And technically excellent, definitely has his faults, can give the ball away sometimes himself. But I think that could be the perfect opportunity for him to be able to just seize control of that midfield. And that personally would be what I'd like to see. I'm only going on what I'd like to see. Seeing as Torreira can't play apparently 2 games in a row, I'd rest him, and I'm going to play Granit Xhaka. Why stop him? I thought he was easily the best performance I've ever seen Xhaka in an Arsenal shirt. For as much credit as people wanted to give him for the Partey performance, because he got 2 assists, and yeah, he did get 2 assists. I'll say it again. For me, he was man of the match against Southampton. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was better than he was at Partey, and he didn't get it, which just shows you that the system means shit. It's your overall performance. How is your influence in that game? And his influence in that Southampton game, guess what? Without getting an assist, was amazing. Which just goes to show you, some of you Ozil lot, is not everything. It's your impact on the game. Someone who I've criticised a lot in Granit Xhaka was fantastic at the weekend. So for me, he starts. And I know that's a bit weird going with 2 slightly defensive midfielders in against Bournemouth, but as I and Lee have always said, Guendouzi ain't no defensive midfielder. And as many people always tell me, neither is Granit Xhaka. So there you go. So those are my 2 midfielders. The 3 across the centre, or just behind the striker. All right. I'm going with Mesut Ozil as the number 10 because I wouldn't play him on Saturday. So I think if you're not going to play him on Saturday, play him today. We may need someone to unlock that defence. And that's also the reason why I've put Granit Xhaka and Guendouzi there, just as 2 people who can sit. So that would be my number 10. On the right-hand side, I'm going with Suarez. What the fuck have we got this player for if he never plays? I think because you put 2 big midfielders in the centre, you could afford to have some technical talent as your 3 behind the striker. And I think Suarez is that guy. Let's see what this kid can actually do. Let's give him an hour at least and see what he's capable of. So I'm going with Denis Suarez on the right. On the left-hand side, I go with, and I'm hoping he's fit, Alex Iwobi. Because come the fuck at me, haters, I don't give a fuck. It's not like we have other options here, motherfuckers. I think he's been brilliant last couple of games. Technically excellent. I know a lot of people who thought he was the best player against Southampton. Even I would give the nod to Xhaka, but I wouldn't shit on you if you told me Iwobi was better. Eventually, who knows? I think Iwobi will be more appreciated once he's gone. And I think people will realise what this kid is about. He is one of our own. Why? What? Because he was born in Nigeria and represents Nigeria, he's not one of our own now. This is someone who came through the academy and is the only player, and I always say this, whose first instinct is, give me that ball, I'm going to take this motherfucker on. He's the only player where when he gets that ball, just be honest with yourself. You watch Iwobi and he gets that ball, whether you think he's shit or not, you know that something's going to happen. It may be something bad. It may be something brilliant. But you know something's going to happen. I like players like that. I don't know about you. I like players like that. Sure, of course. Don't get it twisted. Of course I want him to be better. Of course I want him to be more consistent. Just like I want all the players to be more consistent and better. But I like someone who works hard and tries. And that's one thing Iwobi gives you. The reason I'm also putting him in a team, if he's fit, remember, I don't know the injury news at this stage, is because I think he does have a good understanding with Mesut Ozil. I mean, this is the one person and Mesut Ozil is God to you guys, right? Well, Mesut Ozil rates Alex Iwobi highly. Bet you guys forgotten that. He rates him highly. And I think he has an excellent understanding with Ozil, and he has a really good understanding with Monreal. That's the one thing I'll say about Iwobi. I think he's got a good understanding with both Monreal and Kolasinac, which he should if he's going to play on that left-hand side. So, yeah, for me, Alex Iwobi. Last but not least, up front, I'm going to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Normally, I would say play Lacazette. Lacazette's actually played quite a few games quite recently. And I think this is an opportunity to just rotate things while keeping things fresh and giving Bournemouth a different look at the Arsenal team. And Aubameyang and Lacazette are such different players. I think it might throw them if you start one off over the other and it isn't Lacazette. And yeah, let's give them some pace to worry about. I think you've got three creative players behind Lacazette, Aubameyang. Surely you got bangers of goals with those three behind you. So let's see what happens. I think this is going to be a tight game. It's not going to be particularly entertaining. And I think Bournemouth are going to come at least to try and get a point. But I think we'll keep it tight, and I think it'll be 1-0 Arsenal. I honestly think we'll win this game. And I'm going to go for a bold statement. I think Alex Iwobi is going to score. 1-0 Alex Iwobi. There you go. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. Because you're furiously going to disagree with my team, why don't you put what your team is in the comments below? It's not like I don't interact with you guys when you do that. So do let me know what your 1 to 11 is in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. I appreciate it when you guys do that. I'll be back tomorrow for the review, where hopefully I'll be commenting on a win. And then it's the big one. It is them lot. And we got a big build up for them lot. You watch what I do on Thursday, people. The best way of catching me is by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that notification bell. I promise you won't regret it. We've got a big lineup for you that I've got to confirm, but it should be all good. We should be all good to go. And also I've got a big lineup for the review. So hopefully you should like who's on the show over the next couple of days, particularly for that Spurs game. But I'm out of here, people. Let's hope Arsenal get the 3 points. Take care. Peace.